What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today I've got Vince with me, right there, and he's got the Canon R7 with him. Now you guys have been asking me what every different type of lens you could possibly think of and how it works with the Canon R7. So what I've got today is the Canon RF 100-400, the Tamron EF 18-400, and the Tamron EF 100-400, and we're going to test out all three of those lenses on the R7 right now. You're now your Tamron. You're not even Vince, you're Tamron. Alright, so while Vince is getting his rig set up, so far I have preliminarily used the Tamron EF 100-400, so obviously we're adapting it to the Canon R7, and I've used that lens for quite a few years, and I've used it on a number of different R bodies, and basically it reacts exactly the same way on this lens. Now, I've been able to get nice sharp shots even out at 400 millimeters, and what I was discussing with Vince, and one thing that he has noticed, and he's used it more than I have, is that he thinks that the really high megapixel sensor, the 32 megapixel sensor, definitely requires higher shutter speeds to make sure you get nice sharp shots, but we have been able to get very, very good results with the right settings with the Tamron EF 100-400. So overall stabilization and sharpness and everything that you would require from a lens like that is actually really good, and you're getting really good performance for an adapted EF lens. So overall we're pretty happy with the Tamron EF 100-400 millimeter lens and the performance adapting it onto the R7. We just had a pretty big mishap where this red-tailed hawk that's perched across the river here gave us some trouble when we had the 18-400 on. It would not autofocus on it perched in that tree. It was focus breathing and having a really hard time. We slapped the Tamron 100-400 on, totally different story. Thing was being much more reliable, even with the Tamron 2x extender that we've now attached to it. So we're now running the Canon R7 Tamron 2x extender with a 100-400 millimeter lens. I believe that gives us an effective field of view of 1280 millimeters, and we're reaching way out across this river so he can get nice shots of this red-tailed hawk. The best autofocus, the best stabilization that you're going to get is going to come from the native RF Canon 100-400 millimeter lens. The runner-up from that will be the Tamron 100-400, and the worst performing would be the 18-400 with the most versatility as far as super zoom range. Alright guys, so we're being forced to pack it in a little early because we're hearing thunder in the background. But overall, what we're seeing here is decent performance adapting the Tamron glass. The 18-400 works just like it always has adapted, while the autofocus is lacking in comparison to the other 100-400 millimeter lenses. It still works very well. When it comes to the Canon RF versus the Tamron EF, I'd have to say autofocus, stabilization, the winner's going to go to the Canon RF native glass. But the Tamron is going to excel in lower light environments like today, where you have an aperture of 6.3 versus f8, and you're also getting weather sealing with the Tamron lens. Now, where the Canon RF glass really shines is the fact that it is super light and very easy to hand hold. Anyway, guys, I hope that all this information helped you out if you're considering getting one of these lenses for your Canon R7. If it did, go below, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll see you on my next video.